You probably think your seamless wireless internet was handed down by a single tech visionary, a monolithic invention that just worked flawlessly out of the box. Think again. The truth is, the invisible web connecting your smartphone, your smart TV, and your entire digital kingdom was born from utter chaos. Before your devices could effortlessly stream high-definition video from the living room couch, the wireless landscape was a fragmented, expensive nightmare where absolutely nothing talked to anything else. Imagine buying a premium wireless card for your laptop in 1998, only to discover it could not communicate with the router in your office or the access point at a local coffee shop. Brands built proprietary walled gardens, locking you into their specific, overpriced hardware ecosystems. It was a digital Tower of Babel, and it was costing consumers a massive premium just to secure a basic, sluggish connection. To fix this broken landscape, the industry did not need a shiny new gadget. It needed a universal translator. That translation began deep within the complex engineering working groups of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, specifically a committee known as IEEE 802.11. This group of engineers took on the monumental task of standardizing radio frequency transmission for local area networks. They focused heavily on the 2.4 GHz band, a slice of the radio spectrum previously cluttered with microwave ovens and cordless phones. By defining exactly how data packets should be encoded, transmitted, and acknowledged over these invisible waves, the IEEE 802.11 standard laid the raw, technical foundation for global connectivity. But a technical standard on paper does not automatically guarantee a flawless user experience in the real world. Early manufacturers took the 802.11 specifications and interpreted them differently. You would buy a router from one brand and an adapter from another, and they would stubbornly refuse to connect. The standard was technically there, but the execution was a complete mess. The tipping point arrived in 1999. A coalition of tech heavyweights realized that if wireless internet was ever going to become a global, indispensable utility, they had to force fierce competitors to play nice. They formed the Wireless Ethernet Compatibility Alliance, which you know today as the Wi-Fi Alliance. Their mission was brilliant in its sheer simplicity. They created a rigorous testing and certification program to ensure absolute interoperability across the board. If a device passed their grueling battery of tests, it earned the right to bear the newly minted Wi-Fi logo. That simple yin-yang style stamp became the ultimate king-tier guarantee for consumers worldwide. Seeing that logo meant you could buy a budget-friendly router and trust it would flawlessly connect to your high-end laptop. The Wi-Fi Alliance transformed a confusing, risky purchase into a guaranteed plug-and-play experience. It shattered the proprietary walled gardens and commoditized wireless hardware, driving prices down while pushing performance aggressively upward. Yet, just as the hardware finally started speaking the same language, a massive, glaring vulnerability threatened to derail the entire wireless revolution. Early Wi-Fi relied on a security protocol called WWEP, or Wired Equivalent Privacy. It was supposed to keep your digital life safe from eavesdroppers and malicious actors. It failed spectacularly. Hackers quickly discovered that WEP encryption could be cracked in minutes using basic, freely available software. Your private emails, your banking sessions, and your passwords were suddenly floating through the air, completely unencrypted and ripe for the picking by anyone with a laptop sitting in a car outside your house. The Wi-Fi Alliance had to pivot immediately to save the technology's reputation and your privacy. They rolled out WPA, or Wi-Fi Protected Access, as an emergency stopgap, followed quickly by the fortress-like WPA2 standard. WPA introduced dynamic encryption keys that constantly changed, locking down your data and securing the invisible airspace around your home. This security upgrade was not just a minor software patch, it was the critical evolution that allowed wireless internet to transition from a convenient novelty into a trusted, enterprise-grade utility. Without robust WPA security, the massive explosion of mobile banking, remote work, and secure digital communications would have been completely impossible. With interoperability solved and security fortified, the stage was set for a massive shift in how you build your digital domain. The focus moved from simply connecting a single laptop to orchestrating an entire symphony of smart devices. Wi-Fi became the invisible nervous system of the modern smart home. Think about the sheer volume of hardware currently hanging off your home network. Smart thermostats, security cameras, robotic vacuums, and voice assistants all seamlessly sharing the same airspace. The Wi-Fi Alliance continuously evolved the 802.11 standard, introducing technologies like MU-MIMO to handle this exact high-density scenario. MU-MIMO, which stands for multi-user, multiple input, multiple output, allows your router to communicate with multiple devices simultaneously rather than waiting in a sequential line. It significantly reduces latency, which is the frustrating delay between sending a command and seeing the actual result. This means your smart lights trigger instantly while your television streams high-definition content without a single stutter. This constant behind-the-scenes refinement is exactly how you can build a king-tier smart home on a budget. You do not need to wire your house with expensive Ethernet cables or buy proprietary hubs for every single gadget. The ubiquitous, standardized nature of Wi-Fi means a $20 smart plug communicates just as reliably as a $2,000 gaming rig. But what happens when the very airwaves you rely on become totally saturated? As more devices flood your home, the traditional frequency bands are starting to look like a rush-hour highway. How does the industry prevent the entire system from grinding to a halt under the weight of its own success? The answer lies in opening entirely new lanes of traffic. The leap to Wi-Fi 6E and Wi-Fi 7 introduced the massive 6 GHz band. This pristine, uncluttered spectrum acts like a VIP express lane for your most demanding hardware, completely bypassing the congestion of older, legacy devices. By utilizing wider channels within this new spectrum, Wi-Fi 7 enables multi-gigabit speeds wirelessly. You are looking at performance that genuinely rivals physical, wired connections. This allows for flawless augmented reality experiences, competitive cloud gaming with near zero latency, and instantaneous massive file transfers right from your couch. Understanding this evolution empowers you to make highly strategic upgrades. You do not need to replace your router every single year. By recognizing when a major standard shift actually benefits your specific workflow, you can optimize your tech budget, investing only when the performance leap truly justifies the cost. The true power of the Wi-Fi Alliance is not just in the bleeding edge speeds, but in the relentless commitment to backward compatibility. That brand new router will still talk to the 10-year-old smart speaker sitting on your kitchen counter. It is a masterpiece of engineering diplomacy that protects your past investments while unlocking future potential. Exploring this complex history reveals a fundamental truth about consumer technology. The most impactful innovations are rarely solitary inventions. They are the result of fierce competitors agreeing to standardizing protocols for the greater good of the global market. The Wi-Fi Alliance forced a fragmented industry to unify. In doing so, they created an ecosystem where innovation could thrive on top of a highly stable foundation. Hardware makers stopped fighting over how to connect and started competing on speed, range, and affordability, which directly benefits your wallet. This collaborative triumph is the ultimate reason you hold the power of the internet in the palm of your hand, wherever you go. It is the invisible infrastructure that makes your digital sovereignty possible, turning every room in your house into a fully connected command center. So the next time you connect a new device with a single tap, remember the decades of engineering, the battles over standards, and the relentless pursuit of interoperability that made it happen. You are not just connecting to a router, you are tapping into one of the most successful collaborative engineering feats in human history, ruling your tech domain with absolute king-tier connectivity.